Hello everybody and welcome back to Aurora 4X. I of course am Sir Bedian, who managed to not die at the end of last episode. And today we are going to have a look at what we have found so far in Sol. So we're going to cover the system view and the geological survey report. So first things first, system view. Always takes a bit long while to load. There we go. Okay. First of all, pick your system here. Tells you how many stars you have and how old they are. Who controls them? That depends almost entirely of colony control, population levels, fleet strength, stuff like that. And when you discovered it, as well as the ID number. Now, this is what I was talking about with the system generation. ID number. So, Sol has an ID number of 0. Alright? So, for example, we're doing 15 spread, I believe it was. So, if we were to... So, the next system we go to, if it becomes a local system, then this will be between 1 and 15. Now, here you can select species for your tolerances. So oxygen, gravity, oxygen, atmosphere, and temperature and atmosphere pressure. And of course, stars. So what spectral class, what their diameter is, what their mass is in terms of stellar mass to Sol, and what the luminosity is compared to Sol. What other star they're orbiting, what the period, distance, this is all stuff for secondary stars. Obviously, we don't have any other stars, so Sol A is the only one we have. So, Mercury. So we have here the name of the object, whether a survey has been done or not, whether they have minerals or not. M means it has minerals, S means it has been surveyed. What type of body they are. So terrestrial planet, small terrestrial, small moon, dwarf planet, gas giant. We don't have a super Jovian in here, I believe. Yeah, we don't have a super Jovian. And then we've got asteroids and comets. So it tells you what type they are. This is very, very useful for asteroid miners, because they can only do comets and asteroids. What population is on there? Yours or otherwise. What the colony cost is for the species you have selected. There's current surface temperature, average surface temperature, gravitational strength in terms of G's, I believe. Yeah, gravitational strength in terms of G's. The atmospheric composition, the orbital distance, and then from here is basically fluff. Orbital distance, atmospheric pressure, diameter, hydrosphere, what hydrosphere, the extent of the hydrosphere, all fluff. This has a minor impact in terms of planetary albedo for terraforming, very minor. How long the day is, how long the year is, the actual tilt, the tectonics, planetary mass in Earth's, density compared to Earth, escape velocity in meters per second, no, kilometers per second, the magnetic field, whether it's tidally locked to its orbital body, the current albedo, the greenhouse factor, base temperature, radiation level, atmospheric dust. These are useful for planets to get nuked. And basically all kinds of different factors that determine a planet's suitability. Star 2, 3, and 4. What jump points you have found. The planetary hierarchy. System graphic and options were talked about. So, what have we done so far? Well, we've done Mercury, Venus, Luna, Mars, Phobos, Deimos, and Ceres. And then it's kind of just skipped along. Has it done any of the other planets? No, it's just gone straight to asteroids. So we haven't really done any of the outer planets at all. We've done Mars. Yes, we've done Mars. So we've only done the inner planets. Let's have a look at it. So we'll start off with with Australia. So these are the colony cost factors. So is the gravity acceptable? If the gravity is unacceptable, you cannot colonize it. If the gravity is low, you can colonize it using underground infrastructure. If the gravity is high, you're shit out of luck. Is water available? Yes or no, has no impact whatsoever on actual colony cost. Atmospheric pressure factor, so how much the atmospheric pressure that contributes to the colony cost. There's only a maximum pressure, so if you're over pressure, you're going to have a colony cost. Whether the temperature contributes to colony cost and how much, obviously it's in range, so colony cost is 0. Is the atmosphere breathable? If it's not, this is set to 2. If the atmosphere is dangerous, so certain gases are dangerous and hazardous, they will set it to 2 or 3, depending on which gas it is, as long as there is any of it. And this will tell you any alerts that you need to take care of. Mineral deposits, we're already familiar with Australia's mineral deposits, whether a survey is undergoing, and the jump point, the surveys per jump point. So this is for the system. So jump point survey, whether a survey is undergoing and how much it costs per jump point to survey. In this section here, you get a bunch of Space Master buttons. Things like delete system, add planet, modify planet, add. There's a bunch of Space Master buttons there. Get some system controls here. These buttons take you to different systems. I believe it's going to complain now. Rename the system. Auto rename the system based on the theme. Rename the body. So you can rename planets. So for example, we can get rid of the 2.0 there because it's awkward to say. There you go. Geological status, which we're going to get to in a second. You can add a colony directly through here. You can change the image and pick a different one if you want. View the system map. You can ban the body as a destination, so this will stop civilians. Civilians and default orders for military fleets. So you can stop a fleet from automatically going there. Useful if you have a hostile planet. Fixed name will set a name that all empires use. So each empire will use its own theme to name a planet or a star or whatever based on its own theme for itself. So this planet, this planet, this planet, this entire star system, from the view of an NPR, will be named something completely different. So this will set it to so that all of them are named the same. Clipboard will copy most of this information to a clipboard, and delete will delete the system. Do not do this to Sol, at least until you leave. Try not to have to do it at all, ever. It's only ever really do this if a system is broken. Now, it's possible for a system to break, so if it is, delete it if you have to. Obviously, evacuate it first. But yeah, try and only ever use this for a system that is actively broken or throwing errors. So it's super not fun that it's right next to the close button. Try and use this button if you have to close a window. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. Mercury has 6.3 million uranium at 0.8 accessibility. That's amazing. That is amazing. And it has 1.6 million at 0.4 thorium. That is also amazing. Mercury, we are definitely coming to visit. Oh yeah. Now, surface temperature is 427 degrees on average. So the temperature cost factor is 16.2. Basically, nobody's going to be able to actually live here in any kind of happiness until we drop that surface temperature. So we're definitely going to have to do something with that. Venus has a colony cost of 25. It still has the same surface, has an even higher surface temperature, but the reason why is because it has an atmospheric pressure factor of 25. Now, whichever one of these is the highest is the colony cost. They don't add, they don't multiply. They either have a cost and provide it, or they don't. So, colony cost of 25, the atmosphere is the deciding factor, and the reason for that is because it has a pressure of 100. 100. So, terraforming Venus is not a fun time. It will take you decades or even centuries. Generally speaking, if there are mineral deposits on Venus, you want to drop order mines. You do not want to drop people on it. It's just a waste of your time and effort. Our Venus has no mineral deposits, so no problem. Australia, we're familiar with. Luna, now we did find that 1.6 million of titanium and 0.7, which is pretty cool. So we'll drop a colony onto that. There we are. And Mars has about just under 900,000 neutronium at 0.1, 600,000 macassium at 0.1. So those are scraps. 2.6 million corundium at 0.4 is amazing. That is absolutely awesome. That is fantastic. Because if you remember, corundium is used for mines. So we're going to be building lots of mines on Mars. And 1.5 million iridium at 1. So we're going to be pretty good for our iridium. We currently only have 70,000. We have 1.5 million on Mars. So yeah, we're going to be good for iridium. There we go. Okay. Now, I haven't really found anything else with minerals apart from a whole bunch of asteroids. You can't toggle it to only show minerals. So that way it gets rid of all the junk that doesn't have it. Keep in mind that it also filters out anything that hasn't been surveyed as well. Asteroids, there's not really much point looking at asteroids individually through this menu, just because it's so awkward to do, and you can only look at one at a time. So we'll ignore those for the time being. Same with the comets. Asteroids and comets usually have very high accessibility while having relatively low deposit values, whereas planets, if they have anything, will have homeworld doesn't count, but planets will have generally low accessibility while having huge deposits. Now, let's go have a look at the geological status so far. This is a significantly better way of finding individual pockets of minerals. And the reason for that is because it lets you actually filter the bodies by minerals, and it gives you all the minerals on the body instantly for everybody in that system. So, well, let's have a look at uranium. So, actually, better idea. Let's find out what we actually need. What do we actually need? It's because Australia's going to run out of minerals eventually, right? Yeah, we got 200,000. Our biggest deposit is uranium, and that's 200,000. We're going to dig that out real quick. So, what are we actually low on? Well, a better idea is to find out what we will need. So, these deposits will run out. We are going to eventually need more of them. So, what do we have? Uranium is fine. Uranium and thorium, for the time being, we're set. Not a problem. Okay? Titanium, we're set. Corundium, we're good. Iridium, we're fine. Macassium and neutronium, we're going to be okay as well, but we ideally want more. So, what do we need? Well, we need boronite, because we don't have a deposit yet. Okay. Well, let's go have a look at our boronite. So, we'll switch to boronite. And we can also focus only, so we want boronite, but we also want vendorite. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We have 4 bodies that have boronite and vendorite. One of them is Australia, but we have 3. These look like, I think think that one might be a moon or an asteroid. These two look to be comets. But yeah, so they have boronite, and they also have vendorite. But we'll reset that. Species is for colony costs and system. You can also filter a third mineral as well. So if you want only bodies that have 3 specific minerals. If you want minimums, so if you don't want to deal with shit that has like 64, you can set a minimum. And the minimum accessibility if you don't want to be sending mines to somewhere that has like 0.1 accessibility. So if you want to go for the really rich deposit, you can set this higher. Max colony cost if you plan on putting a populated colony there. And a minimum gravity if you, again, want to put a population there instead of just mines. And you can also filter by asteroids only, or just completely ignore the colony cost if you're looking for asteroids. So this will only show asteroids, really. Okay. Well, I won't only show asteroids. But yeah, you can use this to narrow it down and filter out. Okay. So, we do want a little bit of boronite, and beryllium looks to be a really good source because these ones, yeah, they have accessibility 1, but beryllium is only 0.9, so it's a tiny little bit less, but it has significantly more. So beryllium is a good source of boronite. It'll basically double our boronite from Australia. It also has a good chunk of iridium and a drop of thorium. That's like nothing for thorium, but beryllium will do. We'll drop a colony on it. It's also faster to create a colony on here as well. While we're in here, Macholz, is that how you pronounce it? Macholz has a good chunk of gallicite, so we do need gallicite. And yep, Macholz is so far a great source of gallicite. It's again going to almost double our gallicite, but we also get some tritanium and some vendorite and also some more boronite. So we're going to create that there. Nothing much else really stands out. We are going to need some vendorite, and a wild is going to be a good source of vendorite. 41,000 with a good accessibility, but it also has a good chunk of corundum and iridium. So we'll drop a colony on there. And Rheinmuth, we're also going to drop a colony there, mainly because of the macassium, actually, not so much the vendorite, but the macassium, a little bit of tritanium, a little bit of cordamite, they're going to be good sources there. Comets are usually pretty good places to drop colonies onto. Like here, 22,000 iridium, corundum, and vendorite. We'll drop it there because as comets will have high accessibility, but it'll also have significantly more resources than an asteroid. So yeah, okay. So we got a couple of colonies. We're gonna get that list is gonna get a hell of a lot larger once the surveyor is done. By the way, so now we have colonies. It says Australians, but that's just because they're our colonies. There's nobody actually living there. Like, it's completely empty. So, we'll come back to that in a sec. I'm also going to talk about geological teams as well, since we are talking about mineral. So, here's the way it works. Okay, and it's counterintuitive, and it was changed, but some people don't understand it, so here's how it works. When a system is generated, each body is given its mineral value. Okay, the mineral generator goes to each planet, goes to each mineral, and it generates a number and an accessibility, and it generates them separately. That number very often is 0, but if it doesn't roll a 0, it rolls a number based on what type of body it is. Whether it's planets, like I said, they're going to have high quantity, low accessibility, while smaller bodies are going to have higher accessibility, lower quantity. That all makes sense, right? But it generates a list of what minerals are available, how much of each one there is, and the accessibility of each one. And whatever the results are, that's what you get. Now, when you do a geological team survey, what happens is, for that planet, that generator runs again, but reduces the chance of each result by 3/4 down to 1/4. So it only has a 25% chance of actually getting each result. So it rolls. Is there a mineral? Quarter chance. Is there a mineral? Yes. Okay. Then it goes, what's the quantity of this mineral? And it gives it a 25% chance to have a quantity. Well, obviously, if there is a mineral, it has a quantity. So what's the quantity? That's the quantity. Okay. Then it rolls the accessibility. And it goes, okay, that's the accessibility I've got for that mineral. And it rolls all these numbers. Then it compares them with what the planet currently has. Whatever number is bigger replaces the smaller one. So with this new, let's take a look at Mars. Okay, let's say it rolls neutronium, and let's say it rolls 800,000 neutronium at 0.2 accessibility. 800,000 is smaller than 972, so the 972 remains. That 800,000 that we would have gotten is gone. The 0.2 accessibility is bigger than the 0.1, so it replaces it. So our accessibility goes up to 0.2. It doesn't go up to 0.3, it goes up to 0.2 because it's replaced. That 0.1 accessibility is technically gone. Now, you're always going to lose 0.1 accessibility because any number is always higher than the 0.1, and 0.1 is the lowest it can go. But the point is that, for example, iridium, it doesn't matter what accessibility we roll, it's never going to be able to get higher. While corundium, if we roll it and it has an accessibility of 0.2, we have wasted that entire 0.2. Technically 0.1 because it can't go below 1. But the point is, all that entire roll of accessibility that would have gone into corundium is gone. And because as you dig up minerals, the accessibility slowly drops to 0.1, if we had waited until that accessibility had dropped to 0.1, it would have gone back up to 0.2. And it is entirely possible it's entirely possible to gain accessibility or quantity or nothing, even though the generator has determined that yes, I'm going to give this planet this mineral. So what does that mean? That means Venus, which has nothing, is a perfect candidate for team survey because you cannot lose. Any minerals that the team finds, you're going to get 100% because there's literally nothing to not find, right? While if we have a look at Mars, we have 4 minerals that have 4 reasonable quantities, and one of them has accessibility of maximum, one of them has an accessibility just below half, and only 2 of them can actually gain any accessibility. So what that means is that Mars is absolutely terrible for a ground team right now. But give it 50 years of mining where this has dropped and this has dropped and we've dug out 750,000 resources, then it starts looking a little bit more promising. And if you wait until you've mined up the whole lot, then it's exactly the same as Venus. You have literally nothing to lose. That said, if you have a look, for example, Luna could be useful. If it rolls titanium, it's probably not going to roll higher. We have high accessibility, we have a reasonable quantity. So if it rolls titanium, we're probably not going to gain any of it. But that's only one mineral. If it rolls any other mineral, we get the whole lot. So the chances of us losing on the roll are low. The chances of us gaining anything on the roll are high. Of course, assuming that we actually get a result. It's very, very possible that we get no result and the survey finds nothing, even on a blank planet like Venus. So it's not a guarantee. It's guaranteed that you get a result. It's not a guarantee that you get anything out of the result. It could still be empty. Something like Mercury might not be worth it because you have 2, but you're never going to gain anything out of this. So you can try and go for some. But for example, an asteroid, right? Give us a mineral. Okay, Faye. Actually, no. Let's give us a better one. Limited minerals, please. Okay. Let's pick this asteroid. Okay. So, for example, this one here, right? It has 3, and yeah, you could potentially gain the gallicites a little bit. Like, you never gain the accessibility, but you could gain the gallacite in quantity. You might hit a couple of the other ones. But there are 3 minerals. One of them has relatively high for an asteroid. One of them has a decent amount for an asteroid. All 3 have 1 accessibility. It's extremely unlikely that you're going to hit a bigger number on that you're going to hit a different mineral plus and or a bigger number on one of the 3. So, a little bit dodge. But because Venus is empty and it is a planet, and Venus tends to be really trollish and just give you like all kinds of amazing huge quantities, but at like no accessibility. So it's entirely possible that we're going to find something. It would be great to set up a team there. So that's what we're going to do. First things first. One other way that you can create a colony is by just right-clicking and then create colony. That's a really nice, easy way to do it. So what we're going to do, now that we have Venus, we're going to go create a team. Now, I am going to be using the teleport trick because I don't care. But if you want to roleplay, you can create a team and then ship it around with ships. You can do that, but I'm just going to teleport them because, yeah, I don't care. I just want to show you how it works. So we're going to pick our top 5 best surveyors. And now, I'm not going to pick John because John's out surveying in the ship. And Daniel is our survey officer in the fleet quarters, so we're not going to pick him. So we've got 1, 2, 3 assigned, our 3, 3rd, 4th, and 5th best. And Lieutenant Todd and Kyle, well, he's public affairs, but, you know, public affairs is useless. So we're going to put him to, actually, this guy has the same bonus. We'll just use him instead of pulling them off. Okay, create geology team. So it's rating of 70 because it's a combined total of all of your members put together. 15, 30, 45, 50, 60, 75, 65, 70. Yeah, so it's a combined total of all the team members' survey bonuses. And you can rename it. Or you can, disbands them and send the officers back to pool. This tells you where to espionage. An espionage team can only espionage a planet, a colony. It can only espionage a species that it's on a colony of. If that makes any sense. So you have to put them on the same planet that there is an enemy colony of to actually do the survey. And you can transfer ship. One very, very important thing. Never, ever, ever, ever use this command to transfer a team onto a ship that is a civilian ship. You have no control over the ships. They're going to piss off, and you'll never get that team back. Through here, at least. Like, you'll never be able to actually find them to disband them. Because this is only on the colony. If you want to disband, if you do that, and you need to disband them, because you will need to disband them, because good luck offloading them, because you can't give an order to the civilian ship to offload team, you need to go in here, go to teams, and then manually reassign them or unassign them elsewhere. Well, you don't have to go into teams, but you need to manually unassign them or reassign them somewhere else. So do not put them on a civilian ship. That's just asking for trouble. Let's continue on with our order turns and continue surveying our home system. How are we doing? So, scuttle along. Fuel is at 92, and you can see here that it's slowly chunking away at the moves, and then it gets to 5. Done. And the reason why they're disappearing in chunks is because it's doing all of them. So if it takes 1 day to survey 2 of them, oh, it's going to Jupiter. That it will survey. So it'll progress through plotted moves in between a increment. It just won't get the new set of 5 in the middle of an increment. And you can see the fuel slowly ticking down. The maintenance clock, civilian ships, commercial ships don't run the maintenance clock up, so that's why it's resetting down to 0. But the months is climbing. And I believe we set it up for 2 years. So that can get up to 24 before we have to worry about morale. The grade bonus, I believe, also gives a bonus to survey points. I think. I'm not actually sure if it does or not. And you can see the time and distance here is also ticking out. Whoa! Oh no, that's it's not research, but that's just an increase in skill. Okay. I believe we just got a new scientist. 1.2 billion. So, chugging along. There we go. And it's taking a while. Where is it? Oh, it's out in the Kuiper Belt. Oh, what was that? Oh, deposits. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of Macassium. Venus. Team's done. Whoa. Team's done. Okay. That's supposed to, I'm pretty sure that was supposed to actually trigger an interrupt. Weird that it didn't. But, geosurvey complete. The geology team has completed surface-based geological survey of Venus. So you can see that, even with the reduced result, it has managed to find a deposit of 30 million Macassium. Labs all day. So we are basically set for Macassium. It also found just under 2.5 million Iridium. And, of course, the Trollish Venus accessibility. Basically, if you get anything above 0.3, it's an amazing roll. But we now have an actual use for going to Venus. That Macassium. That's going to take care of our labs for generations to come. So that is that's definitely something I want to go. Civilian teams, geo teams will complain at you once they're actually done. You can only ever survey a body once, and regardless of what the outcome is, they're gone. Yeah, okay. They didn't actually get any skill, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. So we're just going to disband that team now. Because we don't need them, and we don't want to listen to them complain all day that they're just sitting around Venus with their thumbs in their spacesuits. Probably should auto-turn. There we go. Okay, now with this kind of duration, we can probably actually run 5-day ticks out in the Kuiper Belt. So we can do 5-day now. So admin's gone up to 7. How are we doing on science, actually? We're almost done with our research rate, which is cool. How about industry? Mines are almost done, and our mass drivers are not too far behind either. I think we really need those shipyards. I'm going to bump up the commercial shipyards to be next. Now, what's going to finish first? First is going to be the mines. We're not going to bother with any additional mines just yet. We really do need those commercial shipyards first. So mines are going to be done first. We're going to reallocate 30% to that. Military Academy we don't need just at the moment. But I'm going to shift labs to be after the shipyard. And they are going to be at 25%. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Auto turn. Tick, tick, tick. There we go. Done. Okay. We are going to need... We're going to need so much. First things first, we want uranium armor. Because that will give us... Well, we don't have anybody specializes. We really do need uranium armor because uranium armor has a strength of 5 compared to the 2 of conventional armor. So that will significantly reduce how much armor we actually have to carry, which will lighten the load on all of our ships overall. But you know, okay. We need asteroid mining modules. We do. Get those out. Okay. That's going to take about 2 years, so we can forget about them for now. But we are now producing 2400, so that's fine. We're going to need more labs for sure. So the production should be fine. Okay, so mines are done. We are now starting work on our commercial shipyards. So once those are done, we can start building them up to get a freighter off the line. But we now also have 400 ground-based mines, which are producing a total of 4,400 tons per year per mineral, modified by accessibility. And you can see that uranium is now around 200. We're not digging up super huge quantities. So we do want to increase those. We're going to need auto mines, but they are really expensive right now. I think we're going to focus on getting that mining colony on Mars set up. So let's go for 300 of these. And just set up a nice little construction run. We can move those around a little bit as we need them. Okay, so we are now working on shipyards. .9. Yeah, it's going to take over a year per shipyard at the moment, because we are producing a bit less. We are making more construction factories as well, so it is still going to snowball, even if it's not nearly as fast. At the moment, it takes about 10 weeks to make one. So right now we are growing very, very slowly. I'm actually considering upping the construction, how fast the construction factory is built. Yeah, no, I'm going to increase that. I'm going to increase that up to... Let's pull the mass driver out. You know what? Going to drop the mass driver to 10. Going to up the construction factory to 45. No. 40? 50. 40. Okay. That is going to increase how fast we snowball. And that will be significantly better. Okay. Still running. Shipyard is getting built. Good. Yeah, just right now our construction speed is just so poor that we really do need to get those construction factories up significantly higher. Getting the construction technologies might also be significantly useful. So where is it? Construction rate. Yeah, we'll queue that up. I think no. I'm gonna cycle it. We don't have the industry to make an orbital miner. We need... Where did it go? Construction, right there it is. We need this more. Okay. Getting training and bonuses and all that jazz. Doing geological surveys. We're down to 66% fuel, but we are almost about to run out of deployment time. And because that's going to impact the survey points that we're generating, we will have to call in back to Australia, and that's going to be soon. We're going in weeks, so it's going up slowly in months, but okay, might as well get it to come back now. Okay, gonna refuel. I'm not gonna bother resupplying. Don't need that. We're gonna cancel the default so don't just piss off as soon as they've refueled. Crew months. So deployment time is ticks down when it's in orbit around a population of above, I believe, 10,000? Either 10 or 50, I forget. But yeah, so they need to just sit there with no other orders to go anywhere else. So if you leave the default orders up after they refuel, then they'll just piss off and go do those orders, and they won't actually take shore leave. So you need to make sure that they do not have any default orders that they're able to do. If you wind down the crew clock. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you have any orders that are left, then if they can't do those default orders, they will complain about it. They will complain about it a lot. So now you can see that the crew grade is ticking down. I believe it's 10 to 1. So if it takes a year, if they have a year of deployment time, then it takes them only a tenth of a year to wind that clock back. So they rewind 10 days worth of deployment for each day that they arrive. And done. Okay, so their crew grade is back to normal. So crew has completed shore leave and is fully rested. So now we are going to give them the order to continue to survey. Okay, how are we doing? Commercial shipyard, we have 31% of the shipyards to go. So let's see if we can get that done for, in this episode. Mass drivers are almost done as well. We're actually going to finish the mass drivers first, even with only 10%. Whoa, 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 hold up. I saw that. A fleet commander has been killed in an accident on the 30th of January. And then a couple of weeks after that, where are you? There. On the 25th of March, Alfie Mystery was killed in an accident. Something here is very, very suspicious. But no, they just died. Okay, so we just lost not only our fleet commander, but also our governor of Australia. Okay. First of all, well, hopefully we should have a bunch more officers that we can actually allocate, assuming that it didn't just cull all the good ones. So crew training rating, Alice Bartlett. Only a commander, so I don't know if she's actually going to be able to work the fleet quarters, because it's R4 now. But she's got amazing crew training, also a little bit of fighter and terraforming bonus, I guess. Ira Ryman has the better crew training rating, and the survey bonus. Ooh. I think we'll take that instead. Yeah, Ira, you're right. No, we can't. Damn. Okay. Well, we don't have any bloody Commodores. So we literally cannot replace. You know what? Who are we doing? Was it Ira? Yes, Ira. Ira, we need to promote you. Shit. No, we can't. We can't get her in there. Okay, we're gonna have to do something about that later. Okay, but what we do need is we need a new governor of Earth. Oh, Australia. So, civilian administrators. We definitely still want factory production bonus. He's atrocious. With only a 10%. Is 10% really the best we can do? And he can't even be the governor of Australia. God, what's with the crap, guys? Okay. 5% factory. Wealth, okay. Mining, yes. Population growth. Okay, might be worthwhile getting Mitchell Fleming in. What about Liam? Shipbuilding without need. Factory, yes. No, that's not crap. Emma, how about you? Population growth of 25 is amazing. And a mining bonus of 20. We might actually use Emma. The factory production bonus isn't really worth it at being 5%. Like, it's nothing. But the 20% mining bonus and the population growth bonus is amazing. Olivia, useful if we have a shipbuilding, but we're not building any ships. Growth bonus 20% is fine, but we don't need anything else. And Charlie, nah, you're crap anyway. So, is it going to be Emma or is it going to be Mitchell? They're both the same age. They're both in excellent health. They both have the same promotion score. And apart from the fact that Mitchell is a conscientious dude and Emma is a energetic, personable, professional gal with faith in others. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. She's a new governor of Australia. Those are amazing personality traits for a governor. Okay, I'm loving that. I know they're fluff, but I'm definitely going to use her. The population growth and the mining bonus, I think we're going to go with. Mitchell is great and all. He's got a nice mining bonus, and he's got a tiny little factory bonus, and he's got a good. He's got some nice overall all round stats. But like the population growth is tiny, so it's basically worthless. The factory bonus is 5%, which is basically worthless. I mean, it has a use, but Emma's very likely to get a bonus of her own anyway, and then she'll match the 5%. The mining bonus, she's got a bigger, and wealth bonus we don't need. So, yeah, Emma becomes the new governor of Australia. Congratulations. Okay, I think that's about as far as I'm going to take it for this episode. We are getting up a little bit in time. We haven't done the commercial shipyard just yet, so we'll probably get that done at the end of the next one. I should just tick. Come on. Come on. Little more. Little more. Little more. Is it done? Yes, done. Okay. Yeah, so we'll tick over the next one. We'll start ramping that up for production. We might design a freighter to start moving shit around in the next episode as well. So, but for now, we're gonna put a break, and yeah, we'll do the rest of our commercial shipping in the next episode, I think. So tanker, freighter, that's about all we really can do at the moment, to be honest. We don't have the asteroid mining module, so we can't get the asteroid miner. We don't have very many other modules at all, so we can't really do those either. So yeah, no, we'll do the tanker and the freighter next, and we'll start. And colony ship. We'll get those three, and we're going to start working towards colonizing Mars. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.